Hey, it's Leah from Grape, and today I am here with Andreas Wickhoff, Master of Wine, an amazing, talented wine professional from Bründlmayer winery. And today we will taste 3 different wines from this wonderful winery. Andreas, hi.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. I am really happy to taste wine with you. Every wine tells a story. If this wine could talk, what would it tell to us?
Oh, this first wine would probably talk a lot in a bubbly way, because it's a sparkling wine made in a traditional method, just like champagne. So here in the Kamptal, we are based in Langenlois here, which is the main town of the Kamptal appellation. We do have really a good number of producers making outstanding sparkling wine traditional method. And I'm sure that this wine will talk a lot about the traditional method history, sparkling wine production here in Langenlois. The reason why we have started making sparkling wine traditional method here at the Bründlmayer winery is actually Edwige, the wife from Willy Bründlmayer. And she hails from Paris, and when she moved over here to Langenlois, she was missing one very important beverage, which was champagne.
Funny.
So then Willy was sort of forced into trying himself out by making sect traditional method, méthode traditionnelle, and did this the first time in 1989. Making base wine for sparkling, and it was then just released in the early 90s, because just like with champagne, in order to get this beautiful perlage, this CO2 that you see here in the glass, you need, of course, a second fermentation in this specific bottle. So champagne, sparkling wine traditional method is made with 2 fermentations. You make first a regular wine, but which is lower in alcohol actually, because with the second fermentation you gain a little bit more alcohol. And in addition, of course, the byproduct of alcoholic fermentation is CO2, carbon dioxide, which is trapped in this bottle, cannot escape, and therefore we have the beautiful bubbles in here.
That's very nice.
So he will definitely tell a bubbly story. This is Extra Brut now, which is an assemblage of Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, Burgundian grapes, and we use largely Burgundy-focused grapes for our sparkling wines. There's a little hint of Grüner Veltliner in our Brut Reserve, which is the first sparkling wine that was made. But over the course of years, the percentage of Burgundian grapes, Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Pinot Gris, Pinot Blanc, has increased with our production.
It's very creamy.
Absolutely.
I like the fruitiness, which is like stone fruit, but it also has some very nice, typical traditional method wine and traditional method sparkling wine character. This yeastiness, this toastiness, like brioche, something like that is very notable in this wine.
I would fully agree with you. This toastiness, this brioche notes, you will receive with the extended lees aging. The lees are the dead yeast cells that are being trapped also for the second fermentation in this specific bottle. And the longer you keep the fermenting sparkling wine in contact with the lees, the more of these notes you will get. And this one was on the lees for 4 years, so that's already quite an extended time. We also use some sort of base reserve wines, so wines from older vintages. First of all, so to keep the continuity and the style, and secondly also the creaminess that you mentioned. We want to give roundness, but of course a fresh acid element, refreshing characters. Extra Brut is a style that is low in dosage, so the little bit of sugar that you add when you finally disgorge the wine, so take the lees off from the sparkling wine, is very low here, only 3 grams per liter residual sugar. So therefore the freshness, the acidity here is actually also quite present. But that is also very compacted and creaminess interwoven because of this extended lees aging. And that's for us what we search in sparkling wine, in Sekt Austria as it now is called. And also for us important is not having too small glasses, yeah? So for sparkling wines, the flutes are gone. So there are some trendy bars that go back to the champagne bowls, but we prefer either a glass of, a universal glass of white wine, or such a, it's called Grand Champagne, this glass, which gives enough air to the wine and gives it this enough room. And of course you see the beautiful perlage you also of course drink a little bit with your eyes, and you can only think very positively about this sparkling wine now.
I like this glass. This one is my favorite actually.
You can twist it, you can also put it over there. Then you of course, you don't see the perlage so much anymore. Gives it enough room, but you see how different the character now already is.
Yeah.
Here it's more this creaminess, maybe the toasted notes come before. Here it's broader, I guess more the citrus and lemon and lime.
More citrus
characters are coming afore. So you see how important it actually is to have the right glass for the right wine. It can either increase your drinking experience in quality, or also make you less happy if you don't have the right glass and don't give it enough air.
Yeah. Sometimes the wine can also limit the joyness, the whole experience, because it's really completely different to taste this.
Absolutely.
From this one and from this amazing Salto, but I like Spiegelau as well. As we sip in this next wine, what are the main aromas and flavors that truly capture the essence of this bottle? Right.
I have brought to you Kamptal Terrassen. Kamptal is the appellation where we are, and with Kamptal you associate largely 2 grape varieties, Grüner Veltliner and Riesling. This is a Kamptal Terrassen Grüner Veltliner, vintage 23, so the most recent vintage. And this should capture both the appellation, the vintage, and to some extent also the characters of the grape variety. But Grüner Veltliner is quite versatile in terms of style profile. It can go from very light, crisp, fresh in style to actually full-bodied, round, rich, single vineyard designated, maybe rivaling some of the best white wines in the world. This is sort of in between. This is an appellation wine. And here we really try to focus on more the citrus, the lemon, sometimes a little yuzu hint there, and then green apple in a cooler or more moderate vintage, golden delicious apple, pear in a warmer vintage.
The citrus flavors are obviously there, but there is some little bit spiciness, and there are stone fruits as well, so it has a very complex style. I like it.
Yeah, spiciness comes from those typical peppery elements which are associated with Grüner Veltliner quite often. Ours is more on the restrained side in terms of pepperiness or spiciness, but there is certainly a little hint there. And that adds in layers of Grüner Veltliner, so both citrus flavors, but then also some spiciness. Always medium bodied. Great food partner, especially also for vegetables, green beans, artichoke, asparagus. With artichoke, other varieties have a real trouble with. Just a great food partner, like many Austrian wines are, actually. And this is one of our most important wines. Yeah.
And what about the next wine?
Right.
What difference show the other one?
The next wine is one of our flagship, if not the flagship wine, and it's what I would call also the queen of white wine grapes, and this is Riesling. So Riesling is such a noble white grape variety, and this comes from, I believe, one of our, well, the most famous vineyard in the Kamptal appellation, called Heiligenstein. Heiligenstein is on the eastern part of the appellation Kamptal. So a single vineyard designated wine coming from our oldest vines of the winery, and they date back to the 1920s.
Yeah, I read that you really focusing on old grapes. You have a special pruning pruning system, and it's important for your winery to have old grapes, 90 years old, or maybe they can be more older.
Yeah, the oldest ones here are now 100 years old. On average, we talk about 60 to 70 years here. They have wisdom, just like people, with having 60 years of age or 70, but they're also not the most active anymore. So in terms of yield, the yield is rather low, but it's always a great concentration, and it doesn't really matter how difficult the vintage is. Normally they would perform in a very constant way because their root system is already so far down, and therefore the complexity of this wine is just in a different league as we just had. So quite layered, complex, the smokiness that you find in here. And here we are just a bit more, because of the grape variety, also a bit more in the stone fruit character. So more peaches, more apricots, a little bit more intensity also in terms of aroma profile. And on the palate you should then find this saline component as well, and this comes largely from the volcanic sandstone that you find on this vineyard, Heiligenstein.
In this wine there are more, I can recognize more creaminess. What is the reason behind this character of the wine?
Substantially longer aging on both the full lees and the fine lees. So while with our Kamptal Terrassen 23, this is on the fine lees for a couple months, 4-5 months. Here we talk about almost 1 year on full lees. So we have not moved the wine for 1 year from the vessel that it was fermented in a big 2,500 liter barrel. And then we take it off and age it for another half a year on the fine lees. So this is the current vintage 22, which we just bottled this year, at the beginning of this year. And therefore it gives you more creaminess, richness on the palate, density, but not overpowering, because the acidity is of course very active, very lively, very crisp. So this is a wine that is also meant to age for a very long time. You can have Heiligensteins from, with 15 to 20 years of age, and they still are very youthful almost in their way. So these are very historic wines that deserve also some time and some attention.
Thank you very much, Andreas.
You're very welcome.
I really enjoyed it, and if you like it, please subscribe.